Hello everyone and welcome to another 2021 March Madness video. This time talking about 5 potential Cinderella teams from this 2021 bracket. My name is Dylan Burd here once again on the Sports Bird podcast, and we got the first 4 starting in Indy in just over 24 hours. I am absolutely ecstatic. Now, earlier in the week, yesterday and Monday, we had some other great videos drop on the channel. We had 7 ways to win your March Madness bracket, and then we also had a bracket breakdown with Eric Haslam of HaslamMetrics.com. We discussed each region, each round of 64 game. We had his projected scores on the bottom there, talking about that. We also talked about, the spreads of each game. If you are better, we talked about, just each region in general, our predictions for the tournament, championship predictions. We broke down absolutely everything in there. You go check those videos out on the channel the last couple of days. In addition, just wanted to remind everyone before we get started here to like this video, subscribe to this channel. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at sports_bird. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at sports_bird. And also, if you are into NBA player props, you go check out my Patreon, link in the description below. But let's get started here and talk about our first potential Cinderella team, and that is the number 13 seeded Ohio Bobcats from the MAC here. Ohio, one of my favorite teams in this tournament for a lot of reasons. I have them to win the first round game against Virginia, and there's just, again, a lot of reasons about that. So earlier in the season, in November, woke up, I believe it was on Thanksgiving or the day after, maybe Black Friday, and I said to myself, all right, let's look at some college basketball to bet today. Sure, I'll bet Illinois against Ohio. Ended up watching the game and was absolutely shocked when Illinois barely pulled that game out. Believe they won by 2 to 3 points in that game. It was definitely one possession. I was extremely impressed with Ohio in that game, and I said to myself, this is a team that could do damage in March. I'll monitor them for the rest of the season. And here we are. They won the MAC, and now we are here talking about Ohio against Virginia. Ohio is led by one of the best guards in the country that nobody knows about. This is reminding me a little bit about 2019 Murray State with John Morant. You got Jason Preston. Preston is a game changer, averaging 16.6 points per game, 7.2 assists per game, and 6.8 rebounds per game. Again, one of the best guards in the country. He is really good. When you watch this game, you're going to be extremely impressed with him. Ohio comes in 33rd in HaslamMetrics momentum rating. They're 9-1 in their last 10 games. Ohio ranks 12th in the country as well in three-point percentage. And look, the defense for Ohio isn't very good, but the fact that Virginia does play a very slow pace, it shouldn't be a ton of points scored in this game, which I think it'll help. It'll help the fact that Ohio is not very good on defense. I think that Virginia playing that slow pace will help them. Now, Virginia, we know that they're efficient on offense. They usually always are. But their play style, their slow pace defensive play style, is very susceptible to an upset because if the shots aren't falling, they are playing at a slow pace, things could get a little bit dicey for them. Obviously, we saw a couple of years ago, the year before they won the NCAA Tournament, we saw them lose to a 16 seed. And the reason being is because they're just, one, they didn't play well, but they're very susceptible to a big upset. And, just the way they play, that's just the way it's going to be. It's going to be either home run or bust. And I think that this year, I don't think the Virginia team is that good. I think Ohio could get past them and will get past them in the first round. Now, if Ohio does get past them, they're going to play the winner of Creighton and UC Santa Barbara. That's a toss-up game in my opinion. Right now I have Creighton to win. Either way, I think that they're both winnable games for Ohio. Currently, I do have Creighton slotted in my Sweet 16. That could change based on some last-minute changes, but I do think that Ohio could get past Creighton. Creighton, obviously, a lot of things going on with them off the court. They haven't been playing as well as they had early in the season as well. So we'll have to see with Creighton, but I think Ohio could make a run to the Sweet 16 here, and they are my first potential Cinderella team in this tournament. Now, the next team that we are going to talk about here is the number 8 seed Loyola Chicago. Obviously, a former Cinderella. In 2018, we watched this team run all the way to the Final Four as an 11 seed before losing to Michigan. Loyola Chicago, they're going to be a very popular team in this tournament because of that past history, because of what they did in 2018. But besides their past history, they are a very, very good team. They are led by a member of the AP All-America team, third team, I should say, Cameron Krutwig. He played on that Final Four team. He is really good, averaging 15 points, 6.7 rebounds, and 3 assists. Loyola also ranks out very good analytically. They rank 9th in KenPom rankings. They rank 18th in HaslamMetrics ratings. They rank 1st in defensive efficiency on KenPom and 5th in defensive efficiency on KenPom. So this is a team that, they're going to play very slow pace. They rank 343 in pace on Haslametrics, and they're going to, grind you down. They're going to play great defense. Loyola, I do expect them to get past this Georgia Tech team in the first round. Now, unfortunately, they did not get a great draw. They will probably play Illinois in the second round if they do get there. So, look, I personally, as a winner pick here, I think Illinois will get past Loyola Chicago, but that is a game that, as an Illinois backer, I will sweat out tremendously. Loyola Chicago is a really good team, a lot better than where they are seated, and if they can manage to somehow pull an upset on Illinois, I think sky's the limit for them in this tournament. Now, before we move on to our third potential Cinderella team here, I wanted to talk to you about Monkey Knife Fight. Monkey Knife Fight is a great place for player prop games, so if you don't want to just rely on the bracket this week, if you don't want to just sweat out your bracket, sweat out just individual teams, you could look at individual player props over on Monkey Knife Fight. You could play a bunch of games over there, over points, over rebounds, assists. You could play for each individual college basketball game. You could also play them for, the whole slate on the day. So if you wanted to, stretch out your prop betting games throughout the whole day, you could play those on Monkey Knife Fight as well. Monkey Knife Fight's also available with all over other sports, NBA, PGA, baseball coming up. So you could go on to Monkey Knife Fight, put in the promo code DUDE50, and they will match your deposit 100% up to $50. Once again, promo code DUDE50. Now let's move on here to our third potential Cinderella team, and that is the number 11 seed, Michigan State. They do play in the first four on Thursday against UCLA. Michigan State, they came into this season 13th in the AP poll, and they have underachieved this year. And that's not an understatement. They have been, not anywhere near where people thought that they were going to be. They were supposed to be really good. They've pretty much, been a disaster compared to that. They went 15-12 on the season, just snuck into the NCAA tournament, obviously, as they are playing in the first four. How did they sneak into the NCAA tournament, though? Two curious outcomes the last couple of weeks, the last month or so. They beat Illinois and they beat Michigan. So they have 2 wins against 1 seeds over the last month. And to me, that, signifies that, maybe there was a little bit of an improvement since the beginning of the year. Michigan State is also really good defensively. They rank 32nd on KenPom in defensive efficiency and 30th on Haslametrics in defensive efficiency. However, the issue is both sides of the ball. They're not great on. They're not a good offensive team at all. That being said, this team has a lot of experience. They also have, obviously, legendary head coach Tom Izzo, Aaron Henry, Joey Hauser, and Joshua Langford. 3 leading scorers for Michigan State. They are all upperclassmen, which I do like. I always love experience in the NCAA tournament. The defense, it should keep them in games as long as, that defense does keep up. They just need to make shots. And I think that if they do get past UCLA in the first 4, I think they have a favorable matchup against a BYU team who hasn't played a lot of strong teams this year, playing in that, West Coast Conference. And, I think they could possibly make a run. I actually think they match up well against Texas as well. So I think that if Michigan State could get out of that first 4 game, they could possibly gain some momentum. I like the fact that they play that game before everyone else. They'll be settled in by the time they play their next game, the first round game. I think that, Michigan State could potentially make a run here as an 11 seed. Now, the fourth potential Cinderella team that we are going to talk about here is the number 7 seed UConn. Now, I know this is not as much of a Cinderella team as some of these other, double-digit seeds that we talked about, but UConn here is a number 7 seed. This is a team that I think is potentially underseeded, a team that is a lot better than what their 7 seed says. Wouldn't exactly be a typical Cinderella team, but is a lower seed that could go really far in this tournament. On KenPom, they rank 16th overall, 24th in offensive efficiency, and 25th in defensive efficiency. On Haslametrics, they rank 9th overall, ranking 18th in offensive efficiency, 15th in defensive efficiency. On Haslametrics, they also rank 4th in defensive field goal percentage. So this is a team that could really lock up defensively. I think they get an easy first round matchup with the 10 seed Maryland, who I'm not huge on at all. And I think that this UConn team has potential to give Alabama fits in the round of 32. They also have James Bouknight, an amazing scorer, averaging 19 points per game, a lottery level NBA prospect. Right now, I do have Alabama beating UConn in the round of 32, but I think that if UConn can get past Alabama, which is 100% a possibility, this is by no means going to be an easy game for Alabama. I think that UConn could make a run all the way to the Final Four. I actually think that the winner of this game, this UConn-Alabama game, will be the team that gets to the Final Four. I think UConn could be poised for a big run in this tournament. Now we're going to move on to our 5th and final potential Cinderella team, and that is the number 9 seed, St. Bonaventure. The Bonnies coming into this tournament. Another team that the analytics are a big fan of. They finished 16-4 on the season. They ranked 25th in KenPom, 20th in Haslametrics, and on Haslametrics they ranked 30th in offensive efficiency, 11th in defensive efficiency. So one of these very, well-rounded teams, kind of just like UConn. They rank first in Haslametrics in opponent field goal percentage at 37.54%. They also rank 23rd in three-point percentage on Haslametrics. So look, this is a really well-rounded team. They could play defense, they could hit the three, and they go up against an LSU team here that can't play defense at all and is mostly just offensive-minded. I think that this stifling St. Bonaventure defense is going to, stop LSU's great offense, and I think that, the Bonnies, again, they could hit the three, they could play offense. They're just more well-rounded than LSU. I think that they beat LSU in round one. Now, if the Bonnies can get past LSU, they play Michigan. Obviously, if Michigan is fully healthy, if Isaiah Livers is there, it'll be a tough game for the Bonnies. Even without Livers, it'll be a tough game for the Bonnies. But that being said, I think that the Bonnies, especially if Livers is out, which based on that stress foot injury, I think he probably could be out for maybe this tournament, maybe a while, at least a couple of weeks. I think that the Bonnies, could, give Michigan a run for their money. And this is just really about the region here. This is, again, just like UConn. If the Bonnies can win that game against Michigan, I think that there's a path for them to make a big run in this tournament. So just because of the Bonnies being very well-rounded, plus their region, I think this is the region where you're going to get a really weird seed coming out in the Final Four potentially. At least there's the highest chance of that, in my opinion. So I like the Bonnies as potentially my fifth team as a Cinderella here. I think the Bonnies are a really good team, really well-rounded, and I think that their region allows them to possibly do damage. And that is a wrap for this video. 5 potential Cinderella teams in this 2021 NCAA Tournament bracket. Once again, be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. You can follow me on Twitter at @sports_Burd. You can follow me on Instagram at @sports_Burd. Goodbye, everyone, and good luck with your NCAA Tournament brackets this year.